Hello everybody, my name is Vero, this is Vero Reads, and today I want to have a booktube check-in. I've been making videos for a few months now, and I have a lot of thoughts about how it's going, future stuff that I want to focus on, stuff that I want to improve, stuff that I want to keep in the new year, and so I just want a record of how this journey is going. I've given myself a few questions that I want to answer, and hopefully I will still be making YouTube videos in a year from now, and maybe I can go back to these questions and see how things have changed. I really like using YouTube as a kind of like a diary of what's going on. So without any further ado, the first question I gave myself is, what is my favorite video so far? I've made quite a few different types of videos, but I think that my favorite so far is my currently reading video, the first one I've uploaded this year. I just really loved turning on the camera, starting to rant, doing a fun editing afterwards, and using that video as a way to vent my frustration. And also reflect on my reading habits. I feel like that is the main reasons why I started this booktube channel, to vent, reflect, and share my reading habits. Yeah, it was very easy breezy, lemon squeezy. It was very pleasant to make, and I had loads of fun. And so that I would say that is my favorite still. Another question that I want to answer is, what is the thing I like the most about making YouTube videos at the moment? At the moment, it's editing, like the editing process, which is a bit sad because a lot of the time I don't have time to properly edit as much as I want. But yeah, that's my favorite bit. I really like how my personality shines through the editing. I feel like my personality shines through much better through editing than through filming, because filming is still awkward to me. I still have a lot of issues with just sitting down and filming. I'll talk about that later. But editing, I really like, my Denon film millennial core, awkward nerd of the 2010s style of editing. I really like that. I like finding new sounds to use, putting some memes in it, having some little Easter eggs that are mainly just for myself. I really like that. So I would love to set aside more time to properly edit videos. It's not properly, like it's not a functional edit most of the times. I would just like to be able to go all out and have fun with editing. Next question is, what's something that surprised me about making YouTube videos? And I have to say, it's the lovely community. I was expecting to have just a couple of people from real life watching my videos and reaching out and maybe send me a text about a book that I was mentioning, but instead I've had so many really nice interactions in the comment section, not just my comment section, but also leaving comments to other creators and having them reply and starting a conversation about books, which is so nice. And especially through Victober. I took part in Victober this year for the first time as a content creator, and I was so surprised about how welcoming the community is. And I think that has a lot to do with the hosts of Victober, Katie, Kate, Marissa, and Rose. They really put in effort, not just to come up with challenges and put in our content, but really to foster a good sense of community. They engaged with smaller creators like myself that maybe it was their first time participating in Victober. They suggested a lot of great content from all over the Victober community. I started following so many new booktubers because of Victober. It was just such a nice moment of people sharing their passion for Victorian books and having great discussions. Yes, it was really just so nice, which again, I was not expecting the internet to be such a nice place. You know, I thought this was gonna be a very self-indulgent hobby of mine of I want to talk about books, I want to hear myself talk about books, you know, shouting into the void. But instead there's people listening, and these people are lovely. So far, you know, like I'm sure that it's not all roses and sunshine, but yes, I was so pleasantly surprised, and I'm really grateful as well. Next question I want to keep track of is, what do I find challenging? Especially because I want to see if in a year from now, in 6 months from now, whatever, whenever I do another check-in, I want to see if I still struggle as hard as I'm struggling now. The thing I'm struggling with the most at the moment is filming. I still feel very clumsy and awkward and self-conscious when I film. It's really hard for me to just sit down and start talking, and I tend to procrastinate it. Even though most of the times I end up with a video I'm proud of and a result that I'm happy to share online. But when I actually am filming, I feel so self-conscious. I'm really self-aware of the way I talk. I struggle a lot to find words, to find the correct words to use. I'm very self-conscious about the fact that English is not my first language, and I always feel so much more eloquent in my head than I am when I talk. And so that is still an insecurity that I need to work on. But I also know that that comes with just experience and practice. I know that the way to get better at talking to a camera is by talking to a camera. So I know that I just need to hang in there and struggle for a while. And the more I do it, the better I'll be at it. I also want to experiment a bit with scripting my YouTube videos. I'm really bad at like word for word scripting, but I'm also bad at like just having a generic bullet point and then going off of it, because I'm a yapper. I yap too much, and so I can never stay on track. But I also, when I have just a generic bullet point, I can talk for 20 minutes of something. So I do want to experiment with scripting and see how I can use it, mainly so when I sit down to film, I already know what I want to say, because a lot of the time I sit down to film and it takes me an hour to put out a 10-minute video, because I keep having to stop and think about what I want to say, and then I have to stop again and think, what are the words that I want to say, because they just escape me a lot of the time. Yeah, scripting might just be useful for me to focus in on what I actually want to say in that particular video. But yeah, so far filming is still freaking awkward, and I don't like it, and it feels like pulling teeth sometimes. But that's not enough to stop me from making videos. So at least it's not too bad. It's just bad, but not too bad that I don't want to make videos anymore. Another really important question that I had for myself is, how did making booktube videos specifically affect my reading and my reading habits? Because before I started making videos, one of my worries was that I would be shaping my reading around the content that I wanted to make, and especially that I thought people would want to see on booktube. So for example, I was worried that I would start reading more new releases, or books that a lot of people were talking about, or books that I was gonna read specifically just to make a video about it. But fortunately, that never happened, because I'm too much of a mood reader. I tried, like, that was my impulse of, you know what, I'm gonna read these books because everybody's talking about it and I'm gonna make a video about it. It didn't happen, because if I'm not in the mood to read a book, I'm not gonna read a book. Gun to my head, I cannot. Even in school, that was an issue, because of course sometimes you need to do some assigned reading, but if I'm not in the mood to read that, if I'm not, this is not my job, this is something that I want to do as a passion. So my mood reading prevented me from falling into that trap of content creation. And so that really taught me that I need to let my reading lead my content production and not vice versa. So I cannot read because I want to make a video about it. I need to make a video about what I'm reading because that's the only way I can consistently put out content, put out videos based on my reading. Because otherwise, they're completely separate. And so with that in mind, now that I have a clearer idea of how I can use my reading habits for my content habits, for my content output, for 2025, I have some ideas in mind on how I want my videos to be informed by my reading and to be shaped around what I'm reading at the moment. I'll share more about those plans in a sec, but yeah, I'm really happy to report that I don't feel like making booktube videos is constrictive to my reading. I can say that it, you know, just by being on booktube, I've had great recommendations. I'm discovering new genres. I'm experimenting with my reading habits, but they're not shaped by the videos. Another question I want to put to myself is, what's something that I learned since I started making YouTube videos? And I've been a consumer of YouTube for decades now, fully decades. And the main thing I've always seen in YouTube videos of all kinds, of all genres, are vlogs. And now I get how actually hard it is to make a vlog. I've tried to make 3 different reading vlogs in the past few months. One I was in on holiday in Italy, one I was in Bath, one was for Victober, and I scrapped all of them. I fully took videos, did some reading shots, everything. But when I sat down to edit them together and to do something with them, the shots were so bland and uninteresting to me. I had zero, talking updates throughout. They were all the same type of shot, one after the other. And so I did not know, I really don't know how, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. To me, that's really hard. I tried 3 different times. I've tried looking up videos about how to make a vlog and so on. But also especially because I think that reading vlogs they're kind of their own thing, because the main thing you're going to be doing in the reading vlog is reading. And so I just need to, I don't know, if you have any suggestions on, tips and tricks, shots you're using, a structure of a reading vlog that you like to see or like to make, even stuff like what's the most important thing in a reading vlog? Is it seeing somebody reading, because then you can read along at home? Or is it somebody updating you throughout on what they're reading and how their reading experience is going? Just leave a comment below letting me know about reading vlogs, because I really need it. Because I feel like there's something that needs to click. I really want to make some reading vlogs in 2025, just to try and see if I can make them. Maybe I will realize that I really don't like the process of making one and I won't ever do another one. But I just want to have that skill in my toolbox, and I think that something needs to click for me to understand what's missing, like what I need to focus on, or what's at the core of a reading vlog specifically. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. If you have some nice YouTube videos on how to vlog, how to reading vlogs. But yeah, so that's something that I learned, is it's really hard to make vlogs, and I'm really appreciative and impressed by anybody who makes a reading vlog, even the most basic ones. And that leads me nicely into the next question that I have for myself, which is, what are some things I want to focus on in the next year when it comes to making booktube videos? And I've mentioned reading vlogs. That's something that I just want to try. I just want to see if I like them, if I don't like them, if I can do them, or it's really not my thing. So that's one thing. Another thing is I want to start planning content a bit in advance. It's very hard to plan when you're this big of a mood reader, because I don't know what I'm gonna be reading tomorrow, much less a month from now. I have some systems that I want to try when it comes to planning videos, mainly because otherwise I always leave it up to the last minute. I just sit down with a very broad idea and it takes me the whole day to make a video, and a lot of the time I cannot put as much time as I would like to into it, and that leaves me with a product that I'm satisfied with but maybe I'm not excited about. I want to try and just give myself more time to plan a video, leaving some extra time to edit, because again, I really love editing. Also, I hope that it would just help with my consistency in uploads, and also it will make me excited about the videos I make because I can think about them in advance. Like, there are some videos that I've planned for January and February that I cannot wait to share with you all. So yeah, planning content is really something that I want to try. And then another thing I want to focus on is the community, because as I was saying, I got such a great welcome in the booktube community, which again I was not expecting because I grew up on the internet in the 90s and 2000s, and so I didn't think that the internet could be so nice, but apparently, so far expectations low because you never know on the internet. But yeah, I got so much joy out of interacting with people that now I really want to focus on building community. And especially, like, the one specific goal that I want to have is to leave more YouTube comments, is to leave more comments on other people's videos, because I have, and now that I think about it, it's so pointless as a mindset, but my thing is, if I see a video that I really like, I will only leave a comment if I have something very specific to contribute to the conversation, or if I have a specific question that came up from the video. But that means that most of the times, even if I thoroughly enjoy the video, I don't comment anything. I go like, yay, maybe I share it with somebody, but I don't comment. And I feel like that comes from the fact that I don't want to spam content creators. I don't want to bother the person that made the video, but that is so dumb. First of all, commenting is also support and uplifting somebody and just being appreciative of the effort that somebody put into the video. So even saying great job, thank you for the video, that's enough. I'm contributing something. And also, it's really important for the algorithm. Like, I don't know how I never got that yes, it's fine if I just say LMAO, because it's engagement, and engagement helps the creator with their YouTube channel. And also, just seeing somebody being, oh, I like this video enough to comment something positive, that's also helping the content creator with just, self-esteem on the internet, which is something really important to cultivate. So one of my more specific goals is to make it a point to just leave comments on videos that I like, even when they're pointless, even when they're not contributing anything, even when somebody has commented exactly the same thing word for word. These are my booktube goals. I also have some reading goals that are gonna inform, my content creation, because again, it's reading led, not content led mindset, blah blah blah. But this is just a moment of self-reflection, looking at the past. Reading goals are looking at the future. But I will share my reading goals probably in January, because there's that new year, new me feeling in the air. That's it for now. Those were the questions that I kind of wanted to reflect a bit on. For now, this is all I had to say. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a good winter break. I hope you're resting. That's what I'm focusing on in the month of January. It's rest and reset. And I'll see you in the new year. Thank you. Bye bye.